Hey folks, I'm here in the workshop with my Revolt 30 Aquacraft fast electric boat that I've been working on for a little bit. I'm working on a new set of modifications and I just got one of them done. This is a new battery tray, so let me reach over here and get the original tray. This is the original and it is one flimsy thing. It cracks very easily, it bends very easily. It does the job. I have to say that. It definitely does the job, but I don't like how it does the job, and I wanted something better. Part of what I didn't like about it is how high it holds the battery. It does have two places where it'll hold the batteries. You can either put two S packs side by side up here, and there's actually a foam spacer that I took out of here that would hold them in the middle, or you can put a single 4S pack down lower, or you can also put two S's on their sides down lower, down in this little area, and that's great and all, but it still sits, the bottom of this still sits way above the keel. So I wanted to move my batteries down, and I've found out through experimentation that you could move a single 4S pack as much as 5/16 of an inch lower in the hull and hold it there securely. And that's pretty significant when you consider how heavy a 4S pack weighs. So I went about doing that and wanted to get a little bit more configurability out of it. So this is what I came up with. I'm staring out here in the background for a little bit. It's multiple parts, all custom made. Not very pretty right now, but will definitely do the job well. This right here is actually, this ugly thing, is actually a solid piece of balsa that I cut out, and this is an extra piece from the side that was trimmed off of it. That's how thick it is. And it's formed down there into the shape of the hull, so it fits all the way down. This is almost flush across the sides right here. It's only about, I don't know, 32nd of an inch or so of extra height there, but there's still some room underneath. There's still a little bit of a gap underneath to allow air to go through and to allow water, if any water droplets get in and they start moving forward and back, they're not going to get trapped in there. And these holes here are also not for lightness, they're just to help any moisture to get out. And the reason that it's so ugly is multiple fold. First of all, the balsa was sanded all nice and flat and perfect. And then I covered it with epoxy ×2. So it's got 2 layers of epoxy on there. And that was left imperfections when I was done with it. I didn't do a vacuum sealing job on it, and actually had it upside down when I put it on my piece of plastic. So it left some bubbles in it, sanded it again, but it still had a little bit of surface bubbles. Then I painted it, and then the paint was a matte black, but after a couple of coats of that, just to get it even, I then followed it up with a couple of brush-on coats of liquid electrical tape. And that's what's on top here. That's what's giving it the really ugly surface right now. And that's there for traction. That actually provides a rubbery surface there that'll help to hold the batteries into place, keep them from sliding around. Then the hold downs themselves are here. You can see they're 2 pieces of carbon fiber on top of each other. They're scuffed and epoxied together. I used this stuff with the aluminized aesthetic layer on the top just because it's what I had the most of. And behind here, where you see these hook and loop actual Velcro straps that go behind there, behind here it's actually cut out. The lower level, the lower plate is actually cut out just to that shape right under there. It's almost a square cutout right there. So the Velcro goes all the way up to here where that cutout ends, and then it's completely filled up with epoxy. This is solidly epoxied in there, and it's epoxied both on this side as well as on the back. And again, I followed up with a plastic sheet on the back and a wood backer, and clamped the whole thing together so it ends up being just completely smooth on the back side of this, and it all just all the epoxy just goes in with the the resin of the carbon fiber, and it's like one piece. However, this entire assembly, I also used these bolts, are just really for safety and extra strength, just to, in case there was a tremendous amount of force on here. They probably aren't necessary at all, but I just wanted to have an extra backup. And the screws used here are countersunk on the back. And then to attach these entire assemblies on both sides, they're actually not glued on the back to the hull. I ended up using GE Silicone 2 silicone adhesive caulking, which ends up, I don't think I got the exact stuff that I wanted. This is clear. They had a in-store little demo swatch of the white stuff that felt like it was perfect, but I ended up getting clear and feels a little bit softer than what I wanted. But I think the white version of this is exactly what Aquacraft originally used to attach the original battery tray onto this. And I really liked that idea, so I just stole it from them. Because the nice thing about it is, as you can see, I took my battery tray off, even though that thing, the original, was very flimsy. I was able to get it off in one piece. And that's because with the silicone adhesive, to attach it, you just cut it. So if these go wrong, and I end up not wanting to use them, or want to do a different configuration, go back to stock, or anything I want to do, I can just slice these off right here, and then take an X-Acto knife, X-Acto blade, just a blade, and just slice off the excess from the hull, and it'll be back to nice and pretty smooth with the hull. So it's a non-damaging, mostly reversible method of attachment, and it's pretty strong too. There's a little bit of flex in there, but it's pulling the hull in. As I pull against this, it's pulling the hull at least as much as it's pulling the adhesive. So plenty of strength there, with the ability to remove it later on. So here's an example of a 4S hard case car pack, because car packs are what I have for the most part, and it's in there pretty tightly. I'm holding on to just the battery itself, and you can see there's a little bit of rocking that this one in here in particular can do, because it's actually taller on the sides. This is a G-Force pack. You can see from the wear pattern from where I was using it on a car on its side that it's extra wide in the middle. I might want to actually take these and mount them the correct way up. It'll be a little bit taller. It's a little bit taller than it is wide, but I might want to just do that with this one in particular. But with flatter packs, it doesn't have that rocking motion, but it's not going to slide back and forth. So that's a good thing. And then there's one other thing that is nice about this battery tray arrangement. It's the ability to fit larger batteries. So you can see that this right here is a not a 4-cell, maybe not a 5-cell. I don't know. I'm kind of crazy here, but this will now fit, and it'll fit as low as it will go in the hull. So it's on its widest side right now. And I did on this one, I put a little bit of Velcro over the top, which is just going to help it even more. As opposed to putting Velcro on the bottom, this gives it a similar extra rigidity without raising the whole thing up. So it's still just about as low as it can go. I actually do have some very thin adhesive foam backed pads on the bottom of this one, just to make up for a little bit of extra height that this one needs, about 1/16 of an inch, in order to clear the sides of the hull here compared to the 4S. But this should work out well to hold that battery. Well, whether or not the battery will cause the rest of the entire boat to explode, well, that remains to be seen. But at least the battery straps should be doing their job. Meanwhile, to get ready for using that big monster of a battery, I've gone ahead and upgraded my shaft to a OSE shaft, and I got a new coupler on there, also from OSE. I've got a new propeller here, and this is an Octura prop. You can see the nice little hydrodynamic nut at the end, and spent 3 hours balancing and sharpening this thing. It's amazing how long it takes to do those things. Better sharpened my turn fins. Also, my rudder is nice and sharp now. And the strut has actually been leveled off, which, as it turns out, stock, the prop was actually facing down. It was angled downward a lot more than I expected. So hopefully that will allow me to run a little bit more dry now, and just waste less energy and get more speed for a given amount of voltage applied. So much more testing to be done. Still got to get my new ESC in and remount the servo. That whole thing just came off because they didn't scuff the bottom of the mount. It's just very glossy, pure plastic, hard plastic right out of the mold, went right down onto epoxy, so that whole thing just popped right up. But soon enough, this thing will be ready to put back in the water, and like I said, hopefully I will not be destroying it. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.